In the bustling town of Kampala, Uganda, there was a bright and colorful salon called Stella Magic Hair. The salon was filled with laughter and joy as people came to get their hair styled. Stella was the owner and everyone loved her. She had long shiny hair and a big smile. But Stella had a secret that no one knew. Stella was not just a regular salonist. She was also a magical hairstylist. She could give people different hairstyles that made them feel happy and confident. When someone left her salon, they walked out with more than just a new hairdo. They felt like they could conquer the world. But Stella kept her magic secret, fearing that people could not understand her. One sunny morning, a young girl named Aisha walked into the salon. She looked sad, her hair messy and tangled. "Can you help me, Stella?" she asked, her eyes full of hope. Stella smiled warmly and invited Aisha to sit in the special chair. As Stella brushed Aisha's hair, she noticed how a gallows sadness hung around like a dark cloud. "What's wrong, dear?" Stella asked gently. Aisha sighed. "I just moved here, and I miss my friends. I don't think I'll ever fit in." Stella's heart ached for Aisha. She decided to use her magic to help her. "Close your eyes, Aisha," she said softly. With a wave of her hands and a sprinkle of her magic, Stella transformed Aisha's hair into a beautiful curls that sparkled in the light. When Aisha opened her eyes, she gasped in amazement. "Wow, I look so beautiful." She couldn't believe how shiny and curly her hair was. Stella handed her the mirror and Aisha's face lit up with joy. "Thank you, Stella. Now I feel like I can make friends." As Aisha left the salon, Stella felt a warm glow inside her. She loved using her magic to help others, but she also felt a twinge of worry. What if someone found out her secret? What if they want her magic for themselves? She shook her head, pushing the thought away. But back in her mind, the worry lingered. She wanted to keep helping people, but she didn't want anyone to misuse her magic. Stella spent the rest of the day styling hair and sharing laughter with the customers. But she couldn't shake the feeling that trouble might be on the way. Little did she know someone was watching her closely. The next day, a new customer entered Stella's salon. His name was Mr. Kato. He wore dark glasses and a big hat. He looked around the salon with sharp eyes, observing everything. When it was his turn to sit in the chair, he said, "I want a haircut. Make it special." Stella felt uneasy. There was something strange about Mr. Kato. As she cut his hair, she noticed he kept glancing at her hands, looking for a sign of magic. "What do you do here?" he asked, trying to sound casual. Stella smiled, trying to remain friendly. "I style hair and make people feel beautiful," she replied, hoping he would change the subject. But Mr. Kato leaned closer. "I've heard stories about the salonist who has magic. Is it true?" Stella's heart raced. She had to be careful. Magic is just a word for doing something special. Everyone can be special, she said. Hoping to distract him, Mr. Kato didn't seem convinced. As she finished his haircut, she felt a shiver run down her spine. Mr. Kato's eyes linked with curiosity, and she knew he wanted to discover her secret. After Mr. Kato left, Stella couldn't shake off the feeling of unease. Her secret was safe for now, but she had to be careful. Later that day, Aisha returned to the salon, her smile bright as ever. "Thank you for my hair, Stella. Everyone loved it." Stella's heart soared with joy. I'm so happy to hear that, Aisha. You deserve it. But just then, the door swung open, and in walked Mr. Kato again. This time he had a different look on his face that sent chill down Stella's spine. I want to talk to you, Stella, he said, his voice low but serious. I know you have magic. I want you to teach me. Stella's heart raced. I can't. Magic is not something to be taken lightly. It means to help people, not for selfish reasons. Kato stepped closer, his tone demanding. If you don't teach me, I'll tell everyone your secret. Do you want everyone to know? Stella felt trapped. Her secret was in danger, and she had to think quickly. I'll never teach you, but if you promise to leave, I'll give you a special haircut for free, she offered, hoping to distract him. Mr. Kato thought for a moment. A special haircut? What's so special about it? He crossed his arms, looking serious. Stella felt a spark of hope. It will be a style that brings good luck and happiness. You feel different when you leave, she smiled sweetly, trying to win him over. Mr. Kato considered her offer. His expression softened slightly. All right, I'll take the haircut, but you better keep your magic to yourself, he warned. Stella nodded, feeling relieved. As she began to style his hair, she poured all the love and magic into the cut, hoping it would bring him change of heart. She whispered gentle words as she worked. May this style fill your heart with kindness and joy. When she finished, Mr. Kato looked in the mirror. To her surprise, he smiled. I do feel different. Maybe I didn't need magic after all. Stella felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps she could help him see the beauty of kindness instead of greed. The next morning, as Stella opened her salon, she noticed something strange. A crowd was gathering outside, whispering and pointing. She peeped outside and gasped. There was a sign everywhere that read, "The truth about Stella's magic." Her heart sank. It was Mr. Kato. He had gone around town spreading rumors about her magic. Come and see the salonist with the secret, he shouted. She uses magic to control people. Stella felt her knees go weak. This was the very thing she had feared. The villagers started to look worried and confused. She knew she had to act fast. Aisha, stay here, she said urgently as she rushed outside to face the crowd. Everyone, please listen to me. I do not control anyone. I just want to help people feel beautiful. But the crowd was restless, and Mr. Kato was pushing them to believe him. Why should we believe you, Stella? You could be tricking us. Stella took a deep breath, trying to calm her racing heart. She needed to show them her true intentions. I promise I only want to share joy. I can show you, but you must trust me. As Stella stood in front of the crowd, she felt a wave of determination wash over her. She thought quickly and said, let's have a hair show. I'll style hair for anyone who wants to try. You'll see the magic is just in helping others feel special. The villagers looked at each other unsure. Aisha stepped forward, her eyes bright. I want to join. Stella made me feel beautiful. I know she can do the same for you. Slowly, more people in the crowd began to nod in agreement. They remembered how Stella helped them and how happy they felt after visiting her salon. Let's do it, some shouted, and soon the crowd cheered. Stella felt a relief and an excitement. Okay, let's have fun. She set up a small stage outside her salon and invited people to come up and get their hair styled. One by one, she transformed their hair, filling the air with laughter and excitement. The villagers began to see there was no tricky, just kindness and creativity. As the hair show continued, more villagers gathered to see what was happening. They watched in awe as Stella styled hair with her special touch. She was so focused on bringing happiness that she forgot about Mr. Kato for a moment. But Mr. Kato wasn't done yet. He saw the crowd growing and jealousy filled his heart. He couldn't let Stella win. Just then, he noticed a group of troublemakers in the crowd. They were his friends from the other side of the town, and they loved chaos. "Hi everyone," he shouted, grabbing their attention. "Let's show Stella what real magic is." The troublemakers laughed and rushed towards the salon, ready to cause chaos. They started shouting and pushing, trying to disrupt the show. "What's so special about her? She's just a hairdresser," one of them yelled. Stella felt the tension rise as the joyful atmosphere quickly turned sour. She had to think fast to protect her salon and the happiness she had created. Stella took a deep breath and stepped forward to face the troublemakers. She was nervous but determined to stand her ground. "Everyone, please calm down. This is a celebration, not a fight," she called out, hoping her words would reach them. The crowd watched, holding their breath, unsure of what would happen next. The troublemakers laughed, clearly not interested in listening. "What are you going to do, Stella? Use your magic to make us disappear?" one of them sneered. Stella felt a rush of frustration. She knew she couldn't use her magic to make them leave. Instead, she needed to show them the power of kindness. "You don't have to be mean to have fun. Why don't you join us instead?" she suggested, trying to reach them with her words. To her surprise, few people in the crowd began to cheer for her. "Yes, let's all have fun together," Aisha shouted, waving her arms. Stella's heart swelled with hope. Maybe the crowd will help her turn this around. One of the troublemakers, a tall boy with a mysterious grin, scrawled with his shoulders. "Fine, let's see what you can do, Stella." He pushed his way through the crowd and stood in front of her. "All right," Stella said, excitement bubbling inside her. She quickly wrapped a cape around him and got to work. She styled his hair in a funky wild look that made everyone laugh. As he looked in the mirror, a smile spread across his face. "Hey, this is actually cool," he exclaimed. The crowd cheered, and even the troublemakers began to loosen up. Stella realized that sometimes all it took was a little creativity and fun to change people's heart. As the hair show continued, more and more villagers joined in, including the troublemakers. Stella's magic was not just in her hands, it was in a way she made people feel. Laughter filled the air. For the first time, the troublemakers began to bond with the crowd. "Let's have a contest," Aisha suggested, her eyes shining. "The best hairstyle wins a prize." The crowd erupted in excitement, and Stella couldn't help but smile. She knew this was a great way to show everyone the true meaning of community. Together, they could create something beautiful. Stella quickly organized the contest, and soon everyone was styling their hair in a wild and creative ways. Mr. Kato watched from the sidelines, his arms crossed and scowl on his face. He hadn't expected this at all. The contest went on, and laughter rang out as people showed off their crazy hairstyles. In the end, The tall boy whom had been the most difficult, worn with the magnificent, towering hairdo made of colorful ribbons. Everyone cheered and he beamed with pride. Stella felt a warmth in her heart. Thank you for joining in. Remember, everyone can be beautiful in their own way, she announced, and crowd erupted in her laps. Later that evening, after the crowd had passed, Stella sat down to catch her breath. The day had been exhausting but rewarding. She looked around her salon, which was now filled with colorful decorations and happy memories. But just as she was about to relax, Mr. Kato approached her. You may have one today, Stella, but I'm not finished yet. I still know your secret, he warned, a glint of determination in his eyes. Stella's heart sank. What do you want from me, Mr. Kato? I only want to help people, she said, her voice steady. I want to know how to use that magic, he insisted. With it, I could be the most powerful person in this town. Stella shook her head. Magic is not about power. It's about love and helping others. You wouldn't understand. Mr. Kato stepped closer, hunger flashing in his eyes. If you don't teach me, I'll tell everyone that you are a fraud, and they will believe me. Stella felt a wave of fear wash over her. She had protected her secret, but now, how? Please, give me a chance to show you the truth about magic, she pleaded, trying to appeal to his heart. Mr. Kato paused, his expression softening for a moment. What do you mean? He asked, curiosity creeping into his voice. Let me show you how my magic works. It's not about tricks or power. It's about creating happiness, Stella explained. If you truly want to understand, come to the salon tomorrow. I'll show you. For a moment, Mr. Kato nodded. Fine, I'll come back. But if I don't see anything worth my time, I'll tell everyone your secret. Stella felt a mix of relief and fear. Thank you, Mr. Kato. I hope you can see the joy in helping others, she said softly. After he left, Stella took a deep breath. She was nervous about what tomorrow would bring. Would Mr. Kato understand? Would he try to use her magic for bad? She could only hope for the best. The next day arrived, and Stella was filled with anxiety. She prepared her salon, making sure everything was perfect. She wanted to show Mr. Kato the beauty of kindness and the joy of making others happy. As the sun rose higher in the sky, Stella had a knock at the door. It was Mr. Kato, looking serious but curious. I'm here, he said, his arms crossed. Welcome back, Mr. Kato. I'm glad you came, Stella said with a smile. Today, I want you to help me with a special project. Together we can spread joy to more people. What do you have in mind? He asked, raising an eyebrow. Stella explained her plan to organize a community hairstyling day for anyone who needed a little happiness. Let's give free haircuts to people in the neighborhood who can't afford them, she proposed. It will be a fun day filled with laughter. Mr. Kato seemed taken back. You want me to help you with this? Why? He asked, unsure of her motives. Because everyone deserves to feel special, and it will be a great way for you to see how my magic truly works, Stella replied, her eyes shining with hope. Mr. Kato hesitated for a moment, but something in Stella's eyes made him reconsider. All right, I'll help you, but I still want to see this magic of yours. Stella felt a rush of excitement. Thank you. Together we can make a difference. They spent the day preparing for the community hair day styling. They hung colorful banners, set up chairs outside, and gathered all the hair products they could find. Stella taught Mr. Kato some basic styling techniques, and he surprised himself with how quickly he learned. As the day approached, the word spread throughout the neighborhood. People began to gather, curious about a free haircut. Aisha returned, her face brimming with excitement. "I can't wait to help," she exclaimed. When the day finally arrived, Stella was overwhelmed with joy. The salon was bustling with laughter and chatter as children and adults lined up for their turns. Stella and Mr. Kato worked side by side, transforming the community's hair with love and care. As they styled hair, Stella saw how Mr. Kato began to change. He started smiling and laughing with the people, enjoying their stories and the joy they felt after getting new hairstyles. Stella's heart soared with hope. But then, as they took a break, Mr. Kato said, "I never knew this could feel so good. Helping others is so nice." Stella smiled, proud of him. "Yes, it is. It is the true magic, the magic of kindness." As the sun began to set, they wrapped up the event. The people of the community thanked Stella and Kato for the wonderful work. The atmosphere was filled with gratitude and happiness, and Stella felt that her secret was safe. But then, just as they were about to close the salon, a familiar face appeared in the crowd. It was one of the troublemakers from before, his expression unreadable. He marched up to Mr. Kato, glaring at him. "What's going on here?" the troublemaker demanded, his voice loud enough for everyone to hear. "I thought you were supposed to be the tough. Mr. Kato, what's with all this helping people nonsense?" The crowd grew silent, watching the scene unfold. Stella's heart raced as she saw Mr. Kato's face pale. "I'm just helping," Mr. Kato stammered, looking unsure of himself. "Helping? You're supposed to be the bad guy. What happened to your plan?" the troublemaker shouted, pointing finger at him. Stella stepped in, determined to protect Mr. Kato. "He has changed. We can all change if we open our hearts," she said boldly, surprising herself with the courage. The troublemaker sneered. "You think you can change overnight? You're weak, Kato." But something had shifted inside Mr. Kato. Instead of backing down, he stood taller. "No, I'm not weak. I'm learning what it means to care about others. And you should try it too," he said, surprising everyone, including himself. The crowd buzzed with murmurs of support. Stella felt a rush of hope. "We can all be better. It starts with kindness, not cruel. Everyone deserves to feel valued and loved," she added, looking around at the crowd. The troublemakers coughed, trying to regain control. "You think this change everything? People will always follow the strong, not the soft-hearted." He crossed his arms, smirk on his face, but Stella could see cracks in his confidence. Mr. Kato stepped forward, his eyes bustling with a newfound determination. "Maybe it's time for a change. Strength isn't about tough. It's about standing up for what is right." He faced the troublemaker directly, no longer afraid. Stella watched in awe as Mr. Kato's words began to resonate with the crowd. Few people nodded in agreement, and atmosphere shifted from tense to hopeful. The troublemaker's confidence fluttered, and he looked around unsure of how to respond. "I don't need this, you all fools, for believing this nonsense," he shouted, but there was a hint of uncertainty in his voice. "Maybe it's time for you to change too," Stella said gently. "We can all help each other. No one is too far gone." As she spoke, she noticed other villagers stepping forward, including Aisha and some other early troublemakers. They nodded, sharing their story of how kindness had changed their lives. I used to think I was all about being tough, but helping each other feels much better, one girl said. The crowd started to cheer for kindness, and the troublemakers realized he was losing control. He turned on his heel and stormed away, leaving behind a wave of hope. This is the end of our part 1 of our story. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for reaching this far. Kindly, if you've not yet subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe and leave something in the comment section, and don't forget the notification bell in that you'll be notified whenever I post a video. Bye bye. See you in my next story.